Okay, hi. My name is my name's Jonathan Sebastian, and this is my group, Team Squid. We came up with the name because two of our team members were eating dried squid one day, and we didn't have a team name, so we became Team Squid. So I'll introduce our members. Over there in the striped shirt, striped gray and white, that's Guillermo Cheang. He was in charge of graphics and game logic. On the far end is Timothy Martin. He was also in charge of graphics and game logic. On the other end is Derek Bulner, who was in charge of game logic for practically the entire quarter. Right here, close to me, is John Knapp, who was in charge of networking and game logic. On the far end is Megan Chiu, who was in charge of models and animation, and myself, who was in charge of models and animation and all the artwork. Is it ready to run? And there's Jeff Liu, who's last. Sorry, Jeff. He was in charge of networking and game logic toward the end of the quarter. So our game is entitled Combat Frontier. It's a class-based, capture-the-base, third-person shooter. And the backstory for our game starts with Hildy Schwarzkopf. She's a geoengineer/scientist. And what happens is she creates an artificial landmass, and she starts efforts so that it becomes recognized as a country. However, terrorists quickly inhabit the land, led by a man named Hein. And, she's created this thing, and all of a sudden it's been stolen from her. She tries to get support from other nations, but no one wants to be involved due to political reasons. So Hildy turns her engineering foundation into a mercenary organization. So the war for frontier begins. Starting? Sure. Can we get how many computers are open? 2? Can we get 2 volunteers, please? 1, 2. Okay, so that's Hildy on the left and Hein on the right. I drew that. You can select your team right on the screen. Knapp, it's your computer, right? All right. Pick whoever. So then here's character select. Here are the 4 classes you can play. Starting on the left, the far left. Knapp, click on champ. Okay, so that's the champion. The champion is the defense-based class. He is a high school Yakuza kid. I know, original, right? And what he does is he fights with his fists, and, that's all he can do, but he has the special ability that if he raises his arms like this and across, he can absorb a fixed number of hits. And so, he'll run toward you, and then absorbing all this damage, and then if you let him get close enough, then he'll get you. We gave him a Shoryuken move, if you guys know what that is. It's from the Street Fighter series. Just for kicks. Next. So the next is the Marksman. This is the offense-based class. He has a pair of twin revolvers as his default weapons, and you can upgrade this to level 2, which is a shotgun, and then level 3, which is a Gatling gun. I know it's kind of silly for a cowboy to be carrying a Gatling gun, but this is our game, so yeah. So next is the cook, the medic class. What he does is he throws sandwiches and he heals your teammates. You kind of need him so that you don't die in combat. Next. And last is the grunt. The grunt is this English kid that got picked on in high school, so he kind of went insane. So he became an expert at demolition and building traps, and he can build 3, 4 traps, I believe, that impede enemy progress. You guys gonna start? Go. So then you spawn at your base, and the enemy base is located on the other side, well, opposite to you. And so this champion has picked up a crate, and what you do is, the more crates you pick up, you bring them back to your base, and it adds to your overall resources. So it's like a team wallet in a way. This emphasizes the teamwork, because if you have an offense-based character and you like the marksman, and you want to upgrade him quickly to then everyone brings crates, and he gets upgraded quickly, and then he can just run over to the enemy base and destroy it. You capture the enemy base by bringing its HP down. You can see in the upper right, the blue symbol in the upper right designates who you are. So Guillermo decided that it would be more effective to have a shader that would color enemy characters red, so that you can distinguish easily, and friendly characters blue. And so we have some combat here. A marksman that's trying to upgrade his stuff. Knapp, why are you moving so slowly? The terrain was originally a height map, I believe, and then we found out that because the height map is practically just a pattern of what. Oh, there you go. Someone won. The bad guys won. Premiere. Anyway, back to the terrain. We had originally had a height map, and the problem with that is that it doesn't interpolate the points. So you have, you see a land, but it's. Oh, okay. So in the terrain, you have a bunch of cacti and giant mushrooms. That was Megan Chiu's idea for a more unique desert map. When the grunt throws his bombs, they look like cacti, so that it's more confusing to the enemy. You can blow people up that way. So we have 3 grunts, I think, throwing cactus bombs at the enemy base. 2 enemy marksmen. Man, the grunt moves fast. So this grunt is bringing back resources to his base, so he can buy more bombs, or I think he's buying more bombs. Switching to marksman. HUD. So in our HUD, in the upper right, is the enemy base HP, how many resources it has, your base's HP, how many resources you have, and your icon, so you know who you are. In the upper left is the mini-map, so that you can tell where you are relative to the other characters. In the lower left is the HP portrait. In the lower right, you see 1, 2, 3. Those are the different weapons you can have. You switch. You switch through them, pressing 1, 2, 3 on the num keys on the keyboard. And then below that is the ammunition. Current over maximum. And this marksman is just wiping out the enemy with a Gatling gun. Oh, but he's. Oh, okay. He's getting mobbed by 2 champions. I believe we have it set up so that when either base gets destroyed, you know, for the purposes of this demo, the round just restarts. Because during testing, the round seemed fairly short. Sure you can? Yeah, that's the cook. Oh, okay, yeah. So the cook has this special ability that John Knapp decided to implement at the last minute. He just becomes big, and his hitbox increases. But good guys win. His hitbox increases, but he can deal more damage. Okay. Okay. Thank you for coming out to watch our game.